Welcome, fabulous first graders. My name's Mrs. C. Today, I'm going over the Math Unit 5 Subtraction Facts to 20 Use Strategies. Lesson 7 Solve word problems with facts to 20 portfolio assignment. For this assignment, you'll print out a worksheet, complete it at home, and then upload it for your teacher to grade. Let's look at your directions together. Seating Arrangements Portfolio. You are planning a craft party. You have 15 guests and 2 tables for them to use. Create different ways for people to sit so that all guests have a seat. Choose the one that is the best fit. Use the worksheet to complete the seating arrangements. So this is the worksheet that you'll click on and print out. This is what it's going to look like. All right, we'll go back to that in just a moment. How many guests do you want at each table? Notice that the tables are different in size. You might be limited by how many people can sit at each table comfortably. Let's look at those tables again. Yeah, this one is definitely a bit bigger than this one. How can you make sure that all 15 of your guests have a seat at the table? Well, I know I'm going to have to split that group into 2, right? I'll need to divide 15 into 2 numbers. So I'll have one group here, probably a bigger number, and one group here, probably a smaller number. Decide how many guests can comfortably sit at each table. You can draw chairs around each table or write the number of guests on each table to show how many will be seated there. So let's go back to our worksheet. I think I'm going to draw chairs, but first I need to think of a number that is less than or smaller than 15 to start with. 10 is smaller than 15. 9 is smaller than 15. 8 is smaller than 15 too. Let's go back to our tables. I think first I will draw 9 seats at the bigger table. One, oops, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I need to figure out how many guests are left to sit at the other table. How can I do that? I like the count on strategy. So I'm going to take the number of guests I already have seated, that's 9, and I'm going to put that number in my head. 9 is in my head. Then I'm going to count on until I get to my sum or my total, which is 15. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. How many fingers did I count on? 5, 6. That means 9 plus 6 equals 15. So I know now that I need 6 people at this table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, now I've got all of my guests taken care of. I'm going to go ahead and erase this for now, just so it's not in our way when we go back to our directions. But remember, don't erase it on your paper. Make sure you keep those chairs on your paper. All right, let's look at our directions again. Now that we've got our 2 numbers, and remember 9 and 6 are not the only right answers. You might use 10 and 5, you might use 8 and 7. It's up to you as long as your sum or your total equals 15 guests. That's what your total should equal. So let's go ahead and go back to our worksheet and let's write our fact family for the numbers 9 and 6. First, I want to do my 2 addition equations. I know 15 is my sum or total, and my add-ins are those 2 groups at each table. I have a group of 9 plus a group of 6. That equals 15 in total. Did you know that if I change these add-ins order and I start with 6 plus 9, it still equals 15? It does. Now let's do our subtraction equations. If I'm doing subtraction, I know I need to start with that larger number, right? The very largest. So I'm going to start with 15. And first I'm going to subtract one of those groups. 15 minus 9 equals 6. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the other number. 15 minus 6 equals 9. So now I've got my fact families taken care of, but wait, we're not done yet. Now a parent or caretaker can help you with the next section. Let's look at our directions. You're going to discuss these 3 questions, and your parent or caretaker can help you write down your answers. Number 1 says, why did you decide on those number of guests at each table? So I'm just going to go down here below my fact family, and I'm going to write number 1 and answer that. I put more people at the bigger table. That's why I decided to put them where I put them. I wanted the bigger number at the bigger table. How do you know that all of your guests will have a seat? Well, I know 9 plus 6 equals 15, right? I know 9 plus 6 equals 15. There are 15 guests, so that is how I know they'll all have a seat. Number 3 says, what strategy did you use to figure out how to assign seats? So how did we figure out, after we decided on 9 at the bigger table, that there would be 6 at the smaller table? I used the count on strategy. That's what I did. I started with 9 and then I counted on until I got to 15. That ended up being 6. All right, let's look at our directions one more time. You're almost done. All you've got to do now is make sure your parent or caretaker has this paper printed out. You've completed it with your name and date, and now you just need to upload it to your teacher so you can get an awesome grade. Good job, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.